What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. It's episode number 89. We started today's stuff with Espanyol at the new camp, coming on the back of our 1-1 draw against Real Madrid in our first El Clasico of the season. And obviously we're still unbeaten since match day 2 in La Liga. We lost on the opening day to Real Valladolid. That turnaround loss there when we were leading in the first half, then conceded 2 goals in the second to lose the opening day. But since then, been unbeaten in La Liga, won the vast majority of our games, but still in second place to Villarreal right now, who are looking like the big dogs in La Liga to start the season off. For our first games of this episode, again, on the back of the draw against Real Madrid, if we are to keep pace with Villarreal, who right now do look like the front runners, then we need to win basically the majority of our games between this period, between now and December. Try and get some separation on Villarreal and possibly leapfrogging the table. So, as I mentioned many times before, when you're a chasing team, you can't afford slip-ups at home and also against sides that you should be considerable favourites against. So, with the first game, Espanyol felt very confident in this one. Took lead through Pedro Porro, who, by the way, has been an unbelievable sign. You know, it always seems like in my saves, there's always like the star guy as Dembele puts us back in front here with his 5th goal of the season after Espanyol drew level. There's always the star guy, you know, the star man of the team. With Arsenal and Burnley, it was Reece Nelson. With Barcelona, it's looking very likely, early days, but it's going to be Ansu Fati. Then there's the second man that you know can always rely on when your main guy isn't doing it for you. You know, the Robin to your Batman, if you will. In this save with Barcelona, it's probably likely to be Moise Kean, the man up top, spearheading our attack. But a third man, there's always like a third man in my saves, you know. And in this Barcelona team, I think it's Pedro Porro, man. Since bringing him in, he's been absolutely brilliant. Again, he's got a high work rates now after the development plan was completed very recently. He just seems to be the guy right now that, again, is really underrated but still doing the job consistently. And those third man options, man, they never get the praise they deserve. He scored our first goal anyway, and in the second half we got a 4th goal through Moise Kean after Ansu Fati grabbed one in the first half as well. He has just been, again, looking like the star of the series right now, of 10 goals in La Liga already. But Espanyol in this game, though, just continued to fight back. We were leading 4-1. I was thinking, okay, job's done now, game's over. Wilmar Barrios made it 4-2 after some, you know, pretty poor defending, let's be honest. Just like with the first goal we conceded. And then 10 minutes to go, they made it 4-3 as Becerra managed to find a little bit of space on Tommy Yasu back in the team, slight pass to Stegen for their 3rd goal. And I've got to be honest, you would have seen the graphic before the game. We're the best defensive team in La Liga right now, but it really doesn't feel like it. We won the game 4-3, but conceded those 2 goals in the second half. Very frustrating when we had that comfortable lead. We're 3 points behind Villarreal with 29. We've got 26, so the league's highest scorers. And as I mentioned, we took over at Barcelona. That, to me, is not one bit surprising. You see our fixtures for November, match days 4 and 5 in the Champions League, a chance to qualify with a win over PSV. Getafe and Bilbao both away from home, and you would have seen it. Villarreal midway through the month at home, our first meeting against right now the big dogs of La Liga. But yeah, defensively, you know, when we took over this season, that was probably my biggest area of concern. That's why I spent £170 million on a new winger. But, you know, it was my biggest area of concern. I was thinking, you know, we need to bring in a couple of new centre-halves. We brought in Eric Garcia. We're position-changing Rodrigo to play from holding mid to centre-back. Now, of course, in the twilight of his career, I think that's the right thing to do as a veteran presence as part of our back three. But it's not really, again, a surprise that I'm struggling to defend. This is the first time I've used a 3-at-the-back system. We're, you know, using a completely new set of players. We're in a completely new league, in a completely new country. So, to be honest, whilst my defending admittedly has been quite poor, it's not that surprising at the moment whilst we're scoring goals for fun, which is exactly what I expected when we took over at Barca with the star-studded offensive power they've got when going forward. At the back, we're looking vulnerable and shaky. I'm not sure how I fixed that, and again, I don't really want to, you know, alter the formation here with Barcelona, because again, I like to keep it as is when we move to a new team and adapt to their play style, adapt to their tactics. But at the moment, I've got to be honest, 3 at the back is just not suiting me. It just always seems like the back 3, there's very little cohesion between them as a trio. It always seems like there's a little bit of space for opposition forwards to exploit within those 3, which is quite frustrating, really, because that's one extra centre-back than when you're playing a 4-at-the-back system. But either way, it's something I need to learn and get better at. But yeah, the fourth game of the group, was going to be PSV here in the Champions League. Now, we fell behind in the first half very early on. Mikel Oyarzabal fired an a late leveler in the first half. And in the second half, oh my goodness gracious me, Tammy Abraham literally just came off the bench and with his first touch heading in the game winner to give us our 4th win from 4, 100% in the Champions League group. And as you would have seen, because Manchester United slipped up in Turkey, that means now there's 8 points between us and the Turkish side too, which means that we have guaranteed not just qualification with 2 games to spare, but top spot with 2 games to spare. So one of the quickest qualifications and top spots I've ever managed to guarantee with games to spare. So delighted with that. So what it means in match days 5 and 6 against the Turkish side and also the Red Devils as well, we can rotate our entire team because we could lose both of those games 50-0, which would be quite embarrassing. We could lose those games 50-0 apiece and we'd still guarantee qualifying top of the group as well. So that's a real big luxury. You know, I always say that in Champions League and Europa League groups as well. Like that's one of my tips for you guys, definitely. Like if you're going to be, you know, playing a lot of games and competing on multiple fronts, as you most likely will be if you're a team that's good enough to be playing European football, then that's always been my my big tip. Like, go for qualification as soon as you can. And I know it sounds really, really obvious to say that, because of course that's what everyone would want. But what I would say is don't look to rest too many players on match days 1, match days 2, match days 3. No, put out a strong lineup. Try and get the points up as quickly as possible. The quicker you can get the separation, the quicker you can qualify, the more luxury and freedom you've got. Knowing that again in match days 5 and possibly if just 6, then you can rotate your entire team. And that's really handy because again, match day 5 in the Champions League comes in late November, match day 6 comes in December, and as we know in December there's just so much football, there's so many fixtures getting played, it's really chaotic, trying to keep everyone fit. So to be able to rotate all of your team in a midweek game, in a midweek night game, that's just a real big bonus for you to keep your players fit, reduce the risk of injuries, and again have no pressure knowing you've already got qualification and possibly top spot secured with games to spare as well. But still, the third game of today's episode on the back of the qualification there, we take on Getafe away from. This is a really dominant display as well. Fati got his 10th goal of the season this one. I mistakenly said that in the first game. That was his 10th goal of the season though. In this game here, firing in our first, he's just been a man on a mission this season and got his 2nd as well just before the break. Then Belly got 1 too, as did Tammy Abraham once again off the bench as Marias' talks to Getafe here broke down unfortunately after the game. Maybe you saw that performance before, I'm not going there. But once again, Tammy Abraham heading in from a corner for the 2nd straight game off the bench. This guy, all of his goals this season have come from the bench. He's got 3 in La Liga, and I think he's got 2 in the Champions League. I think I'm right in thinking that every single goal has come from the subs bench so far. It's Tammy super sub Abraham right now, and out of all the strikers we took over here, there were like 8 strikers to choose between. I think I've made the right choice, making Keane our out and out first choice striker, and having Abraham as the man off the bench. Could have been Luka Jovic, could have been Sesko, could have been loads of different players, but in the end I chose Abraham, and that's looking like the right decision right now. He's looking like a real great source of energy off the bench. But still, for the 4th game of today's episode, this was the big one. Villarreal right now looking like the real big dogs of La Liga, coming to take us on at the Nou Camp. They actually slipped up in their last game and had their first defeat of the season, so clearly they are human, if not still looking like one of the best teams in La Liga this season. So we went top on goal difference heading into the game, as there was no head-to-head record to determine it on, as we were yet to play them this season. And in the end, after I missed a sitter with Ansu Fati very early on, you won't see that happen many times this season, Villarreal would take the shock lead, shipping over Ter Stegen and getting themselves in front. And maybe it shouldn't be a shock lead based on how they've played this season, but I knew we couldn't afford to lose this game. Of course, it goes head-to-head then goal difference in La Liga, so I need to make sure we couldn't afford to lose to Villarreal in our first battle against them of the 2 this season. So we got back on level terms through Moise Keane, and it was a really tense game as well. I'd like to say it was really action-packed. There were loads of chances. It was really free-flowing attacking football, but in the end I think neither team really wanted to lose this game. That's why the game wasn't played at a frenetic pace with lots of great attacking play. But in the second half, under 20 minutes to go, well, if we were going to find a winning goal, you put your money on this guy to get it. Ansu Fati stepping in from the left, finishing with the right, just like we planned when we brought him in from Man City at the start of the season, and in stoppage time, still leading by a goal, looking to wrap the points up and get a big win here against Villarreal and go top by 3 with do so as well. Marc Cucurella, first goal since coming in from Getafe. How would you celebrate? well, it was a little bit of a glitch in the end. It was so funny. Of course, normally you'd see the next-gen celebrations for the late goals where the players go absolutely mental and there's limbs in the home end or the away end, whatever team you are. But in the end, the game sort of glitched, so Cucurella just ran around like a headless chicken. But anyway, 3-1 the final score, big victory there. We remain undefeated since the defeat on the opening day. We've now gone 3 clear of Villarreal and 4 clear of Atletico Madrid as well. It's a 3-horse race to start the season off, a third of the way through the campaign, but a big win there against our closest title rivals is exactly what we needed at this stage of the season. But that was this episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. So big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, then please do drop a like. Most love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.